It's your girl, Fire Ash, and welcome to another episode of the Millionaire Mindset X. I am so excited to have you all with me for yet another powerful dynamic session. And today I have with me an amazing woman of God, and not just an amazing woman of God, but the woman you want to go to answer all your finance questions. I have with me my friend, my sister, Miss Mia James. And I'm so excited to have you on today, Mia. Just so you guys know just a little bit about Mia. Mia is a financial wellness coach leading a crusade to improving financial literacy for families across the nation. She combines her background in economics and counseling to guide financial transformation by helping families build and protect their wealth. She specializes in tax advantage retirement, cash value life insurance, and guaranteed lifetime income. She's been a financial educator for 17 years and is currently a marketing director on her team. So Mia, I've read the bio, but I always love to ask my guests to give us a little bit of more information about who you are beyond the bio. Who is Mia James?
Well, thank you first of all for having me, Fire Ash, my sister. I just love you.
I love you too.
Thank you, girl. So, who is Mia James? I was born and raised in Inglewood, California, became an adult in the streets of New York City and Brooklyn, and began to really discover myself in Houston, Texas. And now I'm a wife in Brooklyn. So, I've lived coast to coast, done a lot of discovery, and I'm a God girl, of course, like you mentioned. And I love traveling. I love eating. Yeah, you already know. I am a travel junkie. I'm actually going on a trip on Friday. And then the Thursday after that. And I just absolutely love what I do. I love helping people build wealth. Not only build it, but protect it.
Yeah.
Because, so many people, they're millionaires one day and unfortunately can lose it all the next day. So it's about a both and for me. So that's what I love to do. I love to educate all ages, but most importantly, help people get things in place, because it's not knowledge is power, it's knowledge and action is power.
Mia, not you coming out the woodworks, you coming out the gates going in, huh? It's not knowledge is power, it's knowledge and action is power. As the girlies do, clock that. That's serious. That's real. I know for me, you were the person that opened my eyes up to I need to do something different with my financial habits. You were the person who I finally confessed, hey, this is where I am. This is not where I want to be, but I need some help. And I remember, meeting you on that Aruba trip. And I'm going to just be real with the audience. When I met you, I was like, oh my goodness, this woman just seems so cool. I remember you had on, I think a red outfit. And I was just like, she just seems so cool. And then you were super friendly. And I'll never forget the first time we were talking, we had that conversation about, I forgot what the book was called. How to Be a Millionaire. What was it called? I can't remember. Do you remember?
We Should All Be Millionaires.
We Should All
by
Be
Rachel
Millionaires.
Rogers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I remember talking to you that entire trip, and you had inspired me because I've been working at my 9-to-5 job, and I remember telling you but I feel like God is telling me I'm going to end up quitting and letting it go. And something that intrigued me about your story is that you said at 40 years old, I fired my boss. And so I want you to tell us a little bit about that journey. What was it like for you to choose to fire your boss and then follow, your passions and start something on your own?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I talk to a lot of people that are very similar to you, Ash. It's they feel like they should be doing something else, but they're working their 9-to-5, as we all are. I had a 9-to-5 until I was 40. And we all got to start somewhere, right? But when you feel that nudge, it's okay, how do you take the steps to be obedient? Because you do not want the opportunity to pass you by.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't know. It was a leap of faith, but then again, it wasn't, because I actually planned.
Yes.
So I had already started my business maybe a year and a half before I quit. And when I realized that I could replace my salary in less time, right? Because, when you have a job, work 40 hours a week.
Right.
I was like, yeah, I can make this money and I don't even have to work 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. And then I was like, you know what? If I don't take this leap of faith now, I was like, I'm going to get older, get more comfortable.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that. And I'm a great employee, but a bad employee. And what I mean by that is I don't like people telling me what to do.
I feel that.
Okay.
I feel that.
I like to just create, do things that I want to do. I want to do it the way I want to do it.
Yep.
So I really don't have stress in my life now. Even though being an entrepreneur, as you know, is not a walk in the park.
Yep.
But I'm nowhere near as stressed as I was when I had a job. Like,
yes.
I mean, as hard as entrepreneurship is, or, as challenging as it can be, I don't think it's hard. I think it's a challenge.
Yeah.
I don't have that same level of stress that I did when I had a job.
Yeah. And that was the thing that made me want to talk to you, was the stress. I was feeling, I had so much stress to the point where I was having migraines. I remember like constantly every day. And it was like, not to say that they didn't care, but it really wasn't a priority. My mental health wasn't a priority for them as much as it was for me. Like for me to take a day off, that was kind of like, why is she taking days off? Like, she needs to continue to be here at work. And I started realizing when my mental health wasn't a priority for them, then I needed to make other priorities for me. And like, you could have the best work ethic and work so hard for a company and not realize that they don't even value you as much as you are worth. And when I was at that job, it was like, this was the cap. And just like you said, when I realized I could make the money I was making in less time with less effort, that's what actually intrigued me. Like, okay, maybe I should check this out, because I remember I was making, I think, $3,000 a month. And when I had a wedding and I made $2,000 in one day, I was like, that's my sign. I don't
that part.
And I'm actually doing
I had one transaction. That part. I had one client that replaced my whole entire salary.
It's the one client for me. One client.
And I said, and why am I working this hard? But I had a plan. I didn't jump ship just willy-nilly. I had a good savings account. Yeah. And I had a profitable business. So that's what I did have before I took the leap of faith.
And I think something that you helped me with was not shying away from having those conversations of addressing where you are. I noticed that, a lot of us, especially of African American descent, we have this sense of shame and guilt. Like, I don't want to admit that I don't have a savings, or I don't want to admit where I currently am. And so it stops us from coming to talk to someone like you. Like for me, I was embarrassed. I remember we were on the trip and I legit didn't really have any money while we was on that trip. I was just watching you and other people shop and stuff, and I was like, I don't have no money on this trip. I'm just here by the grace of God. And so I want to know, from your perspective, why do you think we often have that sense of shame and not wanting to talk to someone about our finances?
Absolutely. So, finance, and I'm actually going to be talking about this tomorrow. I'm doing a podcast about my book tomorrow. Finance is 80% mindset, or 80% behavior and 20% numbers. Yeah. This is how I tell every single client that I have. I ask them, I said, can you add, divide, multiply, and subtract? And they're like, yeah. I said, okay, well, you can do finances then. I said, it's really not about the numbers for you. It's about the story that you are projecting onto the numbers that you have, right? That's good. Because your bank account is really just a snapshot in time. Okay. I mean, I've had some low bank account numbers. I've had negative bank account numbers, but it doesn't define who I am. And I'm not ashamed or embarrassed by it. Like, that's just life, right? But I can also stand here and say that every bill has been paid. I never went without a meal. I never went without housing. God has always provided my needs. So my bank account is really not anything for me to be ashamed of, and it's not indicative of who I am. as a person. So first of all, we have to separate our self-worth from our bank accounts, from our jobs,
That's
our
good.
titles, all these things, and realize that money is a tool.
Yes.
Okay. And everybody got a day one, right? Like, I'm gonna share, like, this is one of my foundational stories. Basically, I started investing at 16. I got good at it. And when I was in a senior, I was in a stock market competition. I got selected to compete at the stock exchange. I went to ask permission of my dad. My dad told me no, I could not do it because I was a girl. And that stopped me from investing for years. Okay. Now,
Wow.
if you know anything about money, you know that time is one of the
Right.
key factors in building wealth. So I
Yeah.
lost time because my confidence was shot, even though I was good at it. Like, I had all the evidence that said you are good at this. Clearly, I won a competition.
Yeah.
And then to be told by a parent that that you look up to, or my parent basically did not allow me to take part in this opportunity, to really just stop me from being great. Because I was like, I would be a multi-millionaire by now, probably maybe even no, I don't know if I'd be a billionaire by now, but a multi-millionaire, maybe like a 8-figure person, right? If I hadn't stopped.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say that shame, embarrassment, all of that, if you have those feelings, stop and evaluate why, and see how you can disconnect it from how you're defining yourself. Because you get to choose. You have a day one. You get to make different decisions, and that's the beauty of being an adult. You may have messed up yesterday, but today you could do something different.
That's good. See, I love that you said that. That's something I was talking about recently with somebody, about how when God says there's new mercies every day, I believe that every day is a new day, and it's a new opportunity for me to make new decisions. Like, I think that we don't realize, like, we have chance after chance after chance, and if I'm still here, then I have a chance to make it right. And so, number one, I just love that you said that. And I also, what I'm taking from what you said is that I don't have to allow it to define me. I love knowing now that money is a tool, and it also tells a story. And I think something that I realized on the journey of working with you and this other person I was working with is that money tells us stories about your decisions, your actions, and your mindset. And I realized that you could be very good at making money, but are you good at retaining money? I think one of my other coaches has said it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, I started learning a lot, like, when I actually started learning more about finances and stewardship. So in your perspective, what do you think about when we talk about the word stewardship and finances? Do you think that stewardship is important for believers? Like, what do you think about, being a believer when it comes to, building wealth?
Absolutely. Like, let me see. Can I reach it? I can. Okay, I'm reaching on my bookshelf, y'all, because I'm a nerd. So y'all just have to deal with that. This is, yes, you can see it. The Personalized Promise Book on Financial Increase. There's over 2,000 verses in the Bible about money. Yes. You know why? Because Jesus knew that we were going to struggle. Yeah. Let's just be clear. God knows before we know, right? Right. And so, for me, stewardship, remember, everything actually belongs to God. And then he's entrusting to us, right? And so the Bible says, do not despise small beginnings, right? Yes. If he gives you a little, you do well with it, he can then trust you with more. Right. And then there's the parable of the talents, right? Yes. He gave one person 10, they doubled it. He gave another person 5, they doubled it. He gave one person 1, they buried it. What happened? It got taken away. Yes. So if we do not basically send our money out and make friends, however you do that, right? Whether it's interest, whether it's investing, whether it's pouring into somebody else's nonprofit and helping them to get ahead, whether it's tithing is in its own thing in and of itself. Yeah. But your money is actually designed to go out and make other money, because we got kingdom work to do. And I don't know about you. For the most part, everything we do, from buildings that we go to church in to mission trips, costs money.
Everything costs money.
Everything costs money. So
Yeah.
for people to be like, oh, I don't need money. Money is evil. This, that, and the third. That's Delulu. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like that's not even biblical. It's not biblical. Like
I
I'm like,
agree.
it ain't biblical.
I agree.
Read the book.
I even studied in Proverbs. So I went on this journey last year. I started reading The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. And when I read that book, God had told me to read the book alongside of reading scripture. And as I read it, there were so many parallels. And God started opening my mind. And he told me, God had me in Genesis chapter 1, where he was giving Adam, telling him, like, we're here to be fruitful and to multiply. And he was giving him these instructions. And number one, I realized that Adam, when he was first created, he was given a job. He was given an assignment. And I also realized that there were several characters in the Bible who had wealth. Abraham was wealthy. And if we study in Proverbs, it tells us a lot about money. It tells us a lot about, honestly, finances. And one of the things that stood out to me was when scripture was talking about pretty much not being in debt. Now, I'm not going to quote it verbatim because I can't remember exactly what it said, but I do remember the context of it. Someone said in the chat that the sound is low.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Turn it up. Okay. Hopefully that's better.
Let us know if you can hear us a little bit more. But so I'm realizing on this journey that stewardship is a great responsibility of ours. And also, how will we be able to do this kingdom work if we do not have the funds to actually do the work? Something that I'm leading to my next question, something that I've noticed and I've learned is that, we often disregard saving, building wealth, and all of that until we need the money. So like a case in hand is when people pass away, they often have to use GoFundMe's to be able to, provide for the funeral instead of having something stored up. And so I know that you work with life insurance and so I really want you to explain to us even why life insurance or being aware of life insurance. Why is it important to us? Because I think that that's something we are not taught on as far as in financial literacy.
No, we're not. I'm actually doing a book study on what would the Rockefellers do, and that book actually talks about how the Rockefellers have preserved 6 generations of wealth using life insurance.
Oh, wow.
And I have had the privilege of being around very wealthy people my whole life, right? Now, I'm not saying that I grew up wealthy. I'm just saying I was around wealthy people.
Yeah.
And this is what wealthy people do. They understand the value of life insurance. Remember, I said at the beginning, money is 80% mindset. And so I have people coming to me like, oh my gosh, life insurance is expensive. But expensive in terms of what? Because the value that your family gets, the value that you can get, because life insurance has living benefits now. Yeah. Life insurance isn't just you pass away and then the next generation gets money. Yes, that does happen. But now with life insurance, you can have cash value. You can grow cash value, which is money you can take out tax free.
Yeah.
You probably heard of this concept called Be Your Own Bank, where you can get a loan. Like I had one of my business partners, when he needed to close on his house, he took the money out of his life insurance policy. He didn't get a loan. He didn't take it out of his savings account. He took it out of his life insurance, right? Yeah. Then if you need long-term care, I was very close to my grandmother. My grandmother and my grandfather on my mom's side both needed long-term care. And because my grandfather had things in place, none of their kids had to basically deplete their savings to take care of their parents, because their parents planned and had long-term care money in place. Yeah. And not only that, my grandfather had life insurance, but he also left 7 houses behind for his kids.
Wow.
Like, that's called generational building. Yes. But with life insurance, you might put in 50 grand over the span of your lifetime, but if your family get $1 million out of it, that's a great return on investment. It's not an investment, but it's a great return is what I'm going to say. So what people don't understand how you can use it as a tool. Like you're most likely never going to put in the amount that you will actually get out of it. So that's one thing that I like to teach is like how can you leverage life insurance while you're alive, and then how do you use it to pass on mostly generational wealth?
Yeah. So something you mentioned was the tax free retirement. And once again, a lot of the stuff that I know now is because of you and two other people I've been working with. And so because I didn't know it, I didn't realize I would say the game I was falling into. So I think that it's very important for us to break down what is tax-free retirement. Why does it matter for people to know, especially the African American culture? Why is it important for us to know about it?
Can I keep it real? Is it okay
Yeah.
if I just speak free truth? You know, I've heard everything from life insurance is a scam, life insurance is too expensive. But the thing is, if we stay in our poverty and scarcity mindset, we're we are not going. We cannot go up from there.
Right.
So sometimes we have to take a leap of faith, educate ourselves, and we need to understand how life insurance is going to benefit the next generation.
Yeah.
And can you ask me the question one more time? I just want to make sure I
So
hit it in this next comment.
just talking about tax-free retirement and
Oh,
why
tax-free
is it
retirement.
important?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have been taught historically, including myself, right? And most of this is real life lessons that I've had. 401k, 403b, 457, all of these tax deferred, right? Because everyone thinks it's so nice to have lower taxes today, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, they take the money out of my check, and so my taxes are lower today. I need to save money on taxes, blah, 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 blah. But everybody talks about investing and diversification and investing, but nobody's talking about tax diversification. Because if all of your retirement money is tax deferred, you have to pay. Remember, you're putting in seeds right now. Let's say you put in $250 per paycheck. But when you get ready to withdraw in 30, 40 years later, or whenever you retire, you're talking about retiring, withdrawing maybe like $100,000 a year because, things cost a lot more in the future.
Yeah.
And also historically, taxes have increased.
Yeah.
So, for me, I want to pay taxes on the tax rate I know now versus I'm going to have to pay these taxes later when I don't know what the tax rate is going to be.
That's good.
And a lot of people's money is in tax deferred. So they don't know how much taxes. And then when you take the money out, say you try to withdraw $100,000. Well, if your taxes are mad high, you might only get $65,000 from the $100,000 withdrawal.
So you're getting robbed pretty
So,
much.
Uncle Sam want his money. It's either you pay taxes now when you know, or you pay taxes later on an unknown tax rate you don't have a clue about. So I say all that to say I teach people about tax deferred. Not tax deferred, excuse me. I teach people about tax advantage where you pull the money out. If you go withdraw 100, you get 100K. And people are not talking about it. So go ahead.
So how?
It's different accounts. It's just different accounts. So you can there's 3 different things you can use. You can use cash value life insurance, municipal bonds, or Roth IRAs. So most people know about a Roth IRA, but here's the difference. Anything that has the word retirement in it, any type of vehicle that has the word retirement in it, if you touch the money before 59 and a half, you will most likely incur some type of penalty.
Yeah.
So what about people who want to retire before 59 and a half? Where are they supposed to get money from? You're not eligible for Social Security. So in my humble opinion, you may want to have another bucket of money that you can live off until you're eligible to touch your retirement funds. That's just my opinion.
So what would that other bucket be?
It could be either, like I said, cash value life insurance, municipal bonds, or if you want to get into the capital gain tax bucket. Capital gain taxes have to do with if you sell anything like stocks, bonds, or real estate. So basically you get taxed once you sell, or if you have a profit, I should say. So, some people sell off their assets. And I am of the firm belief, Dr. Boyce Watkins always talks about this: you buy, borrow, and die. So I'm not about selling assets. I'm about borrowing from my assets or making money off the assets that I got. But I'm not trying to sell the asset, because it's like he gave a great example. He's like, let's say you have a cow, right? You sell the milk from the cow, but you don't. If you sell the beef, right? If you kill the cow and start selling the beef, you no longer have an asset to sell milk from. So now the asset is completely gone. So the thing is, if you get an asset, right, like how can you either borrow from it or use it to create money, but you keep the actual asset intact?
That's interesting. We do have 2 questions that came in the chat. I want to make sure I get to them. So I'm going to read the latest one. Keisha said, how do you solve this problem? She said, repeat bonds, cash value, life insurance, and question mark.
Oh, Roth IRAs. Those are all tax advantage.
And then,
so when you withdraw the money, it's tax free.
Someone else came into the chat earlier and said, any recommendations on stocks to buy right now?
No, I don't give investing advice.
That's smart. Honestly, when I read the question, even though I'm not a finance person or coach or consultant, in my mind I was like, that feels like a question I probably wouldn't try to give my own 2 cents on.
No, because everybody's situation is different and they have different risk tolerance, and I don't give I don't give investing advice, because that's I do consultations with people, and then either myself or my business partner, and then we, based on certain things that we assess, then we're able to provide them with the information that they need based on their situation and their personal goals and what capital that they actually have access to. It's not a cookie cutter response.
See, and I love that you said that, because I do think that sometimes we have this mindset that is literally one size fits all. One thing, this is what I want. This is the one thing I need to solve it, and now I'm a millionaire. So the same person came into the comments and just said that they just opened up a 401k. Okay. So good for you, Mr. King Arthur. But just continuing on with the conversation. So once again, we're talking about finances. We're talking about stewardship and just even delayed obedience. So one thing I know that you taught me was time, and how time is on your side when you realize time is on your side. And so can you break down... Actually, can you speak to the person who is the delayer, who's like, you know what, I'll wait until I get it right. I'll wait. What would you say to the person that has the excuse, I'm going to wait till I get my life together?
Okay, I'm going to say my nice answer. Because I was like, what I really think and what I should say is 2 different things. Because like I said, I took a long break from investing, and I don't want to say I regret it, because I don't have regrets, but if I could do it over again, I sure would not have done that. Basically the cost of waiting is that, very simply, is basically in order to catch up, you actually have to invest more than if you start early. You let's say if you started at 20 and you could put in $250 a month, if you wait till 40, you might need to put in $2,500 a month to even reach what that 20-year-old is going to have at age 65. So it's like, would you rather put in a seed, or would you want to put in a half-grown tree to get to where you're trying to go? You get to decide. Because I had a situation today with a person that waited and waited and waited. And I was like, and when people are like, oh my God, it's expensive. I can't, it is what it is. I'm like, this is the cost of waiting. Like I can't sugarcoat it for you. Like I'm like so done sugarcoating for people. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, God, give me the patience, because I'm like, I give so much free education, Ash. I like literally give my blood, sweat, and tears to educate people, and they literally don't listen. And then they get into a snafu, and then they want to come back. I can't fix it. I can't make you 5 or 10, 20 years younger, or I can't, if you have cancer all of a sudden and now you want insurance, my hands are tied.
Yeah. Why do you think that we have that mindset to wait?
Not understanding the value, and not, because people will pay for what they value.
Right.
So if you don't understand, if it's not connecting in your brain the value of what you're doing, and you're putting your money away, like say for example, if I save $1,000 a month, right? It's a lot of stuff I could be doing with $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
But I have to think about future Mia, future Cam,
That's
right?
Good.
You know what I'm saying? Because do I want to be crying today, or do I want to be crying tomorrow when I can't work?
That's so good.
When I can't earn anymore. Because there's going to come a point where I can't exchange time for money, or I can't get out the bed, or whatever it is. And I can't say coulda, woulda, shoulda, because I can't. I really literally can't. Like I've seen, my grandparents, they forced my grandfather to retire because he had Parkinson's. He couldn't be operating machines with his hand shaking.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was so wise. He had mad money, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But what if you had no money?
Yeah. I think something that I'm discovering is why discipline is so important. You know how in the Bible it talks about the fruit of the Spirit, and how self-control is one of those things. And I believe that self-control and discipline goes hand in hand. And the reason I say that is because oftentimes we enjoy instant gratification. We want something we can see right now, enjoy right now. And so even with our spending, we're spending money on things that we can only see in the tangible or the physical right now. And something that you made me realize is I have to start thinking for the future. I have to look at where do I want to go. And even, for instance, like you're a travel woman. You travel a lot. And I know for sure that was something that inspired me about you. Like that's where I'm like, oh, I'm trying to be in my Mia bag, traveling all the time. And so now that I've started wanting to go on retreats and things like that, I realized like I had to start thinking future. Like, and I think going on a retreat for me was like the one thing I needed to start understanding, like the discipline habits that you need to have, not just in going on a retreat, but in me being able to save and invest in the things that I desire to do, because I realized I was getting the money, right? Last year, all of my family went on a trip and I couldn't go. Why? Because although I was pulling in the money, where I was allocating it to was not helping me out. I was allocating it to fast food. I was allocating, I didn't have a plan. And talking to you, I remember before I quit my job, you helped me come up with that exit strategy. And having a plan for me has given me so much assurance. Like now that I have, and I don't really even want to call it a budget. I think I've been calling it my purpose planner or something like that. Now that I have a purpose planner, I've been able to see like, okay, this is where I want the money to go. This is where I want the money to go. And I feel more secure and in control because I'm not just out here loosey-goosey just spending everything. Everything has now an assignment. And I feel like I'm testifying, about the goodness of working with Mia. But now that I have this assurance, it makes me feel more in control of my life. I don't feel reactive. I feel like when we work paycheck to paycheck, we're so reactive. It's literally like we're just trying to survive. But when you build that discipline, being able to save, somebody told me, save $10,000. And they told me 2 rules. They told me, number 1, you need to pay yourself first. That was like the most important rule, is that you have to pay yourself first. I'm gonna go back to number
Amen.
2 in a minute, but because my question is actually going into paying yourself first. So Mia, I know that I think I told you like, oh yeah, somebody told me about paying yourself first, and so I want you to explain that to the audience. Why is that a priority? We have bills all the time, and I know a lot of us have the mindset, let me pay all these bills, and I don't leave anything for myself. Why would you say it's important for us to pay ourselves first?
Well, that is a fantastic question, and I'm actually talking about that tomorrow night too.
Wow, they need
Let
to
me
get on
let me break.
tomorrow.
I know, right? So let me break that down. So I have what's called a spending ladder, and it has all my values on it. And the reason why you need to pay yourself is because you are just as important as everybody else. So on, and what you're doing is reinforcing that, right? That your future, what you want, is just as important as everybody else. Because guess what? If you spend everything and leave nothing for you, you helping those other people get rich. You helping your landlord get rich. You helping this one get rich. The car people, whoever you paying your car note to, you helping all these people get ahead. But what about you? Like, when do
Yeah,
you get to enter the priority? So my first thing, I'm paying my tithes. The
yeah.
second thing I do is I put money in my profit account, because what I'm saying to myself is that I have a profitable business. So I have an account that's just profit. The next thing I do is I'm paying me. Then we're going to talk about paying the bills. And so
Well,
paying me includes my salary, and
yeah.
savings, and investing.
Go back to that profit account.
Yes.
Come on, teach.
So it's basically planting a seed. So there's a certain percentage of every amount of money that I bring in that I put into my profit account. And it just sits there, and I look at it and I'm like, oh, you're so nice. Look at you
So
just
pretty.
growing. It's so nice, like, just keep on growing, right? And it just reinforces, like, okay, I'm making money. Money flows. And I, with my business, I do a great deal of community service. I'll just put it to you like that. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'm very, very grateful when I do get paid, because, like, I work on commission. So if I don't find a solution for my client, then, or the person, that I'm working with, then I don't get paid, right? And
Yeah.
so for me, I'm very grateful when I do get paid,
Yeah.
because it doesn't always happen, because, unfortunately, if, again, it goes back to value. I can present something to someone, if they don't see the value in it, and they
Yes.
don't see how it's helping them build their generational wealth, you know.
Not gonna invest.
So,
Yeah. And I can say,
yeah.
as someone who is reformed, I think that's my key word right now. I'm reformed in a lot of areas. As someone who is
I
reformed,
love it.
my grandmother, she used to always say, like, Ashley, you need to talk to an investor. You need to talk to a financial consultant. Like, you need to talk to these kind of people. And I would be like, no, it wasn't Mia. It wasn't a priority. If I'm being honest, it legit wasn't a priority. And the only reason it wasn't a priority is because of, number one, going back to what I said in the beginning, shame, but also, be, the shame had me in a chokehold. The more that I think about it, but it was at. I gotta say this because I feel like somebody gonna be free from me saying this. Embarrassment of where I was, because I was working a job and I was getting paid good money, but my savings account never matched the story of what I was working and how I was working. And so that kept me from coming to you, but also because I just didn't understand the value of the investment, the value of getting the knowledge. And I think when we're not forward thinkers, we often miss out on the blessings of right now because we're not thinking in the future. Like I said, somebody had asked me the question, Ashley, what are some of the goals that you have for the next few years? And I think actually somebody asked me that, and then you asked me when we went through, building a plan. And when we went through asking those questions, I don't know if everybody asked themselves those questions, like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? But by opening that conversation, it made me think, like, okay, these are the things I want to do. But then how do I get from this is where I am, where I want to be? It's a journey in between. And there's some numbers that need to be a part of that story of the in between. Like, I know one thing you taught me was recognizing how much money I was bringing in at the time. And then would I be able to replace that amount of money with me quitting my job? And also, do I have enough of a savings if I didn't bring in any work? Do I have some kind of savings that will help me be able to sustain? And one of the things I learned now, like if I were to re-quit my job, one of the things I realized that should have done a better job at was building that savings up a little bit more. So, do you have people often come to you outside of me? And I'm assuming you have other people who come to you with the desire to quit their job or to transition into full-time entrepreneurship.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so, what would be
Yes.
one thing, like one step, you would tell them to initially consider in them wanting to transition?
I would say have a 12-month emergency fund. That's simple. You need to have cash. Because if you don't already have a business that's generating consistent income every month, just you might have to float yourself sometime. So you want to have cash, cash, cash. That's the best advice I could give you.
So, one of my other questions, you have mentioned being your own bank. So, when you say be your own bank, what does that mean in practical terms?
So basically, when you come to me and you allow me to set up your cash value life insurance, don't go to other people. Come to me because I'm going to design it properly for you. I have had too many horror stories when people, they thought they got that kind of a policy and that's not what it really was. It's all about the design.
Yeah.
So when you come to me and have your policy properly designed, it just means that over time, your policy will build cash value. So just think of it like a savings component, so to speak. And once it builds to a certain level, you have the choice. You can either withdraw money tax free, or you can take a loan and you could pay yourself back, right? Because of course it impacts the death benefit, depending on how your policy is designed. So that's basically how you could be your own bank. And again, because it doesn't have the word retirement attached to it, if you wanted to retire at 50 and say you got $1 million in your life insurance policy, well, you can live off of that until you can start taking money out of your retirement accounts. So if you retire at 50, you know, you have 9.5 years that you need money before you can start touching your labeled retirement accounts and just, you know, live off that cash value for a while.
You see, and I didn't know that. Once again, I'm about to expose myself. I always expose myself in conversations like these. I didn't know that, and because I didn't know that, I made some slick decisions. So long story short, I touched my account, and I'm not retired. And now that I am where I am now, I'm like, dang, I was playing the game wrong the whole time. I didn't realize what I had in front of me. I wasn't milking the cow enough as I should have, especially when I was working that job. I didn't milk the cow. I didn't have additional areas where I could, you know, pull money from. And once again, I think it's just because it wasn't of interest to me because I didn't find value in it. And now I'm like, oh shoot, I should have been moving differently. So for someone, I'm not speaking of myself or anything, you know, probably somebody in the chat. For someone who has experienced, you know, having that penalty and is pretty much in a place of starting over, what would be some advice that you would give them about just starting over when it comes to, you know, the tax-free retirement, even considering doing a Roth account? Any advice?
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing is just to decide that that's what you want to do. Number two, you want to set aside in a certain amount consistently and don't touch it. Then I recommend, if you don't manage, like if you're like not comfortable with managing your own funds, you can get with a financial professional. If you want to set up something like that's tax advantage, I offer complimentary consultations, and I'll put my website in the chat. All you have to do is take the quiz that's on the website, and it'll show you my schedule. You can schedule on beyondthebusyness.com. And myself and my business partner can help you set up whatever tax advantage retirement accounts that you want to have. So that's what I would say.
That's really good. Once again, not speaking for me or anything, just someone else. So another question that I had was, what current mindset do you see people? We kind of answered this, but I just want to come back to this. What current mindset do you see delaying people from building wealth?
Lack of trust, because for whatever reason, or not making a decision, fear, like you said, shame, anxiety, and all of those things. I think someone in here, I don't, BTH Elite was saying something along the lines of don't delay out of fear, trust God and his plan. Because I'm going to sit here and tell you the straight up truth. I've lost money in an investment before. Don't get it wrong. There's risk in investing, right? Now, there's some stuff that doesn't have a risk to it. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, certain things have risk, right? And so any good financial professional should understand what your risk tolerance is before you get into any vehicle, because some people are high risk takers and some people don't want any risk at all. And there's something for everybody in between as well. So you need to understand what your risk tolerance is, because everybody nowadays is like, oh, I want to invest. But then if they lose $5, they're crying. Then you need to understand if you can handle a loss. Like, listen, I seen one of my things plummet because of this war. Like, you got to understand, like things like this, a war is going on. Certain industries are going to take a hit, like the airline industry. I had a whole bunch of shares in the airline. So it is plummeting, but I'm also a long-term investor, so I could choose to wait it out or not. But I understand that. And so you also want a financial professional that's going to explain to you, this is what's going on. And this is why. And you also have to be honest with yourself and say, can you handle it or not? Because in essence, even though money is 80% mindset and behavior, you also don't want to be too emotional when you are making financial decisions, because when you get too emotional, you can make the wrong move and really mess yourself up. So you really got to be able, like BTH Elite said, you got to be able to handle a loss if you're going to be in the market or if you're going to be in crypto or things like that. But there's also, conservative things like life insurance. You're not losing money unless, there are ones that you could. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
When it comes to the finances, one thing that you have started catching my attention in was when you said, I have my tithing, I have my profit, and then I have my, my pay myself salary, and then the rest of the things come. I kind of want to go back to that profit one. I just kind of want to stay there. And so with the profit one, that's the one you just completely don't touch at all. Like, teach me the game, coach.
No, I touch it when I'm, like, for example, I'm going to Hawaii next month. I probably will touch my good old profit account because I'm celebrating in Hawaii. So I want to I want to go to the pineapple plantation. I want to do a luau. So I'm going to be treating myself to doing whatever I want to do while I'm in Hawaii.
So what you going on all of these trips and just traveling a lot? Like, what is some advice that you would say to people who want to start traveling more and being able to plan for trips, save and all of that? Like, give us the rundown. How do we start traveling out the country like you?
Well, one, I put it on my vision board. I want it to be non-geographically bound. So, I would say 90% of my business is on Zoom or virtual. So I can work anywhere. Now I don't work on every trip. I should say I don't necessarily see clients on Zoom every trip, but I may see clients in person. So, like, for example, when I go to California, I'm going to a networking professional development. So that is business related. I'm going to be networking with other business owners. So that's a tax write-off. When I go to Hawaii, I'm doing a speaking engagement. That's a tax write-off. So I'm going to speak to people live, but not the whole time. This is going to be a one day situation. Okay, 1 day situation. So basically, one, you have to have a business that allows you to be non-geographically bound, or have a business where you can work. I guess where you can work anywhere. Also have a travel fund, right? Because some travel is like top priority for me. And I have to do it. Like, it's like breathing for me. So I'm like, I would rather not shop than not travel. So I choose what I'm going to be doing. And then, what I'm going to be spending my money on. So I save for that. And then with what else? I'm trying to think of how can you travel? I don't take clients on the days that I fly. I decide what I'm going to do while I'm there. And if I need to take clients, I will.
Yeah.
On Zoom. And then there's when I went to Europe and when I went to Thailand, I just took a vacation. I was like, I'm not seeing clients.
Yeah.
Actually, those were tax write-offs too. I was in professional development.
Okay, so I have two more questions related to the tax write-offs, but I do want to open up. This is the time where I like to open up questions from the chat. And so, Keisha, I know that you asked if she was answering questions, and she definitely has been keeping up with the chat. So if you want, now is the time where you can start submitting some of those questions, and we'll dedicate the time to answering those questions as well.
I saw Keisha had a question. She said about the her of getting highest term life insurance policy put in the state to borrow against. So I had answered that in the chat, but you can't borrow against a term policy because it doesn't grow cash value. Term is a death benefit, and then some term policies have living benefits like terminal illness, chronic illness, and critical illness. But for the most part, they don't build cash value because it doesn't last for your entire life. Now you can put a permanent policy into an estate and borrow. Well, that depends on how the estate is set up, because when you put your life insurance into an estate, a trust, the trust is the beneficiary. So it depends on if it's irrevocable, revocable, and how it's set up.
Let me make sure we didn't miss any other ones that was in the chat. I know my question was, so what is defined as a tax write-off? Teach us more on that.
Sure. So full disclaimer, I am not a tax professional. I am just a business owner that understands that the tax code is written for the business owner's advantage. So let me say it again. If you are a business owner, it is in your absolute best interest to understand that the tax code is written in your favor. So I do not pay taxes. Let me let that sit with y'all for a minute.
It's sitting with me.
Let me tell you, I pay taxes, but I don't. So how does that work? You're like, Mia, you lying. What are you talking about? Okay. So long story short, and I'm telling y'all this as a business owner, this is not tax advice. This is just something that I live. You pay your taxes quarterly. But as a business owner, there's a lot of things that you can write off, right? Reasonable expenses for your business. So I travel a lot for professional development, or my clients are all over the country, and I will go visit them. Okay? So I just went to Georgia, and I was supposed to go to a professional development. Well, it fell through. Well, guess what? I was like, I'm going to go see some clients. I was like, we can't just be going to no trips. I don't do vacations. It got to be related to business some kind of way. No, we need tax write-offs. So, but it has to be connected to your business. Like, everything I do is legit, because guess what? I'm a God girl. So I document everything, and everything is connected to my business. So it's a professional development, or I'm seeing clients in some kind of way. That's what the trip is going to be related to.
And then how do you
so that's the taxes, for the taxes.
How do you maintain boundaries within your business? As far as
I have a separate phone number for my business. Mm-hmm. Sure. So I have a separate number for my business. My friends don't like it, but it is what it is. I'm like, look, I'm running a business. I was like, don't text me on my personal phone about business. There's time. I don't work. Well, see, the thing is, this culture, which I cannot stand in the United States sometimes, is like hustle, 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 work, work. I don't live by that culture. That is not me as culture. I take a Sabbath on Saturdays. You can text me all day Saturday if you want to. I'm probably not going to respond because I'm taking a Sabbath.
Yeah.
And I think the number one thing is first to have boundaries with yourself, because people are going to test your boundaries, but you just have to honor your own boundaries and not respond if you say you're not working.
Yeah.
So I have a separate phone. I have separate email. I rarely take phone calls without appointments. I know that sounds weird, but how I think of it, I need to be prepared for whatever it is you're going to ask me, because sometimes people just be texting me like, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, I got to research that. That's not like
exactly
something I can just tell you. Like, so here's the link. Why don't you schedule an appointment? Then I will prepare everything that you need for that appointment, and I'll be ready for you when when you come. Because I want to give you my undivided attention.
Yeah.
So even my family and friends, they schedule time on my calendar because they know I'll give them undivided attention if they on my calendar.
Yes.
Versus you randomly call me, I might be doing something and I'm not present.
Yes. I'm glad you said that, because recently I got me a business phone, and I've been trying to migrate people back over to that instead of calling me on my personal phone. Especially because, like you said, I'm usually busy almost every day. I won't say all day, because I'm also trying to prioritize rest, but I'm usually pretty busy. And so I've been trying to have like this balance between my busyness and being able to, kind of handle like the personal and all of that. And so something I told one of my friends earlier today is I told him, I was like, I've learned to take everybody through the process, whether you family, friends, whoever, you got to go through my process, because that has become my boundary that I've set. So even like when I do the podcast, I'm taking everybody through the process. We have a pre-conversation call so I can get a feel for, what is the topic about? What are we going into? I'm starting to realize as I'm getting older, I like for things to be a bit more maintained and in control versus just sporadic and, hey, we just doing something to be doing something. And so now, like I said, I'm in a point where I'm trying to start showing people like, no, this is the process. It helps me process and show up effectively. And I just know, like, some of the people that don't want to yield to that has nothing to do with me, because I won't answer the phone. I think in my self-love era, I've learned to love me enough to say no, because sometimes people don't even care that they're draining you. They don't even, it's all about them and focusing on what their needs are. I could tell somebody I done had a long day. They call me, they don't say, hey, how you doing? It's just, get to talking. And so now I've even started managing when people call me, if I'm free, like if I'm not doing anything work related, even if I want to, like, let's say I want to watch TV, I've learned I'm not going to answer the phone right now. If I don't feel like it's a pressing urge, my spirit is not telling me to press and answer this phone, I might not. And I'll shoot you a text and say, hey, I'm chilling. I don't feel like talking right now. And I've come to understand, because I send that text, because I'm being nice in that text. But I'm just learning how to operate from a place of no. It's taking me some time. My mom is still on me, but I'm trying to learn how to. I'm in no. Now I'm trying to move into no with no follow up. Like I don't have to explain myself. That's where we're moving into. Yeah.
Come on over to the other side, girl. It took me 40 years, but let me tell you, no is a full, complete sentence.
And I'm learning it. I'm moving over to the complete. I've been practicing not explaining myself, and if I'm being honest, it's starting to feel very freeing. Like, Ashley, why do you gotta explain yourself? Just no. And some of the stuff that people will call on you for is not even that important, and they figure something else out. And once I realized that, it was like, okay, well, they're probably gonna figure something else out anyway. If I can't respond in the next day or two, then they'll be all right. They didn't need me that bad anyway.
Right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Like, it, for me, as a middle-aged woman, I need my rest. Yes. I need to have time with God. I need quiet time, because, we talk to people all day long.
All day.
So when we have free time, maybe, I don't want to speak for you. Let me speak for me. I just want to be quiet a lot of times. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. I know people don't believe it, but I'm actually an introvert. Every single assessment tells me I'm an introvert. Yeah. And I need to be quiet. So I take quiet time and my husband, thank God he's an introvert, because he don't mind if I'm quiet for a whole day. Yeah. He doesn't mind.
Yeah.
So I rest. God told us to take a Sabbath for a reason. He was on to something. He was on to something because, baby, let me tell you, when I could take on a week, like, I'm juiced up on Monday. Yeah. I'm ready to go on Monday because I didn't rest it on the weekend.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I create from rest. When I'm rested, that's when I can come out the gate on fire.
Yeah. And that's what I've been learning. Because, like, asked me last year and years prior, I was operating from just burnt out, just always burnt out. But now I've been like, I've literally been prioritizing rest. And I realized, like, when you rest, you reset. And you reset. And now I can, you know, like you said, I can come out the gate and I can give you more of me. But if I'm pouring from a cup that's empty, then you barely going to get what you want. You're not going to get it. So I tell my friends my Mondays are me Mondays. And I let them know I don't talk to humans on Mondays. I don't associate. No. It's all about Ashley and whatever I want to do. If I choose to answer your call, cool. But most times I'm not going to answer your call. Majority of the time, I'm watching a TV series on Monday and I'm just laying it down and I'm not thinking. Mm-hmm. And I need that. And I think you're right. God was onto something when He told us take that Sabbath because He knew we would need it. We be getting tired, and I think that even leads us to like health problems sometimes because we're constantly trying to be on the go, and we don't know how to just be still.
Oh, yes. Been in the hospital, been burnt out many times. Listen, I'm a recovering overcommitter. I got the t-shirt and the postcard, honey.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it to kill yourself for what?
Yeah. Yeah, so my overcommitment is I think it's done. I think it has flatlined because now I've just been like, even with like some of the jobs that I take on, I've been very conscious, like, is this going to be too much for my plate? I thank God that because of the conversations I've had with you and the coaching, it has helped me be able to, you know, build money, but also be able to build the money in the areas I like to where I don't have to take on all of these things that burn me out. I got these few things I'm really good at. I just stay here. Those other things, I think what I'm saying is I thank God that I've learned that I don't have to be so desperate for money.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, audience, another thing that Mia helped me with, and just in case she might not still be helping people with this, I don't know. I'm just gonna throw it out there. She helped me with starting to, develop systems. She helped me develop pricing. I think we also, as a community, have to get okay with pricing ourselves based on the worth of the service that we're providing. A lot of us, if you haven't been taught financial literacy, you'll scale yourself down and barely be making it because you're not even allowing your prices to speak for the amount of work it takes to get the job done. So Mia, before we transition out of here, I have just two questions left, and one is about the pricing. What is some advice that you would give to people as far as being in business and pricing their services based off of what they're worth and not on the opinion of someone else?
Sure. So I would just say, because I don't actually get to choose my own pricing in the business that I'm in right now, but in the past, just do industry research and kind of see like what is the going rate. Yeah. And see what the median rate is. Don't go to the low end, especially just because you're just starting out doesn't mean that you don't bring value. Yeah. Because I do contract work too. And I just be like, this is the price. Yeah. There's no negotiation. Because one thing that's so, to me, please don't do this to other entrepreneurs. It is so disrespectful to try to negotiate pricing with an entrepreneur. Because you do not go into stores and negotiate at the grocery store. You don't go into Macy's and negotiate at Macy's. You pay, if you want it, you pay the price. Because people don't understand that entrepreneurs, we don't have a big corporation paying fringe benefits like, medical, dental, retirement, blah, blah, blah. No, we got to pay everything. We got to pay self-employment taxes. We may have to pay state, income, federal, all these taxes we have to pay, plus time. It's not the same as when you have a job. So, no, we can't charge $25 an hour. That's not sustainable because we will go out of business. Yep. So, I'm just going to say, because I have had so many people like, oh, can it be less? And I'm like, so So I'm just going to say, do your market research and try, fall in the middle. So your pricing is still competitive, but you feel like you're getting your worth because you are intuitively, the Lord is going to prompt you and you will know one time I undercharged and I was like, dang, like I did all this work for this little bit of money. Like you don't even feel good about it.
Yes.
You will know if you're charging too low. Like if you're charging like $100.
Yeah.
That's maybe, you know what I'm saying? That's your groceries for the week. That's not really putting a dent in what you need to do as a business owner. So you really have to be strategic when you think about pricing.
Yeah. So the last question that I have, knowing that your brand in the financial world is also about self-care, I love to ask everybody that leaves the show, what is a mindset shift that you would impart upon the audience? And so I'm actually going to kind of assign your mindset shift. I really want you to help us with how do we get from viewing finances as responsibility and shifting our minds to see it as self-care.
Ooh, I like that. Let me think about this one.
That's on brand for you.
Oh, I like that. Finances as self-care. Yes, and I do think it's a part of self-care. Honestly, I think it starts with making a choice to see a different point of view. A lot of times you said it earlier and I forgot to hit on it, but you said a lot of people are in survival mode.
Yeah.
We're never going to build wealth in the way that we deserve to build wealth because everybody deserves to be wealthy. It's biblical. Like you said, people in the Bible were wealthy, but we have to charge what we're worth, right? Yeah. We have to do the habits. Everything is about making a choice to consistently do habits with discipline, right? So we're putting the same amount of money away every month. Yeah. We find something that aligns with who we are as people. And we are learning. Because I think that if we started to normalize these conversations from young, I always talked about money growing up. So for me, talking about money is not a thing. Like it doesn't, I guess it doesn't have that emotional charge that it has for a lot of people. Yeah. And so if we can normalize the conversation, like I told my homegirl, I said, my friend, I said, girl, I got this. I said, what I use with my nephew is flashcards, right? I said, girl, go get these kids flashcards and learn financial literacy. Don't be embarrassed. Nobody said you got to use an adult book. You can use kids' information. Take it down to first grade level, understand the basics, and go up from there. Like, we don't need to be embarrassed. We don't need to be ashamed. We just need to get what we need to get. Yeah, it's a mad flashcard. Like, I'll give you a link to what I use. And that's how I learned stock options. I use children's flashcards.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm not embarrassed. Yeah. I'm like, we got to stop being embarrassed. Stop having all this pride. We got to get what we got to get.
Yes.
So that's why I said make a choice, make a decision, and take action.
And that goes back to what you said at the very beginning, that knowledge is not power, it's knowledge and action that's power. Look at me. I've passed that quiz. I remembered exactly what she said. But yeah, no, that's good. So as we are wrapping up, I do want you to let us know where can they find you on the internet if they want to book that consultation or they want to ask you further questions. Where can they find you all across the board?
Sure. So you can go to my website, www.beyondthebusyness.com. It'll be a pop-up so you can sign up for my text message reminders as well as my newsletter. I do a newsletter 5 days a week where I talk about financial concepts. If you want to schedule consultation, so let me tell you what the consultations are for. So I don't do budgeting. I don't do anything like that. This is for someone who either you want to set up cash value life insurance, tax-free retirement, or you are like 59 and a half or older and you want to create guaranteed lifetime income. So that's what the consultations are for. If you want like the basics, financial literacy, I'm going to put in the chat the website to my book. I wrote a book. It's called Think, Learn, and Feel Rich.
Yes.
You can get a copy of my book, and it's 10 very simple financial lessons with the basics. It breaks down 10 different concepts, everything from goals to estate planning to benefits, all these things in the book. So if you're like super new, you're like trying to figure some stuff out, it's very short reads, and it has like journaling that you do and work in a workbook. So it's very easy to get started. And then you can follow me on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok is at Beyond the Busyness, and it's BUSYNESS.
And then I know you mentioned that a lot of stuff we talked about today is actually some things you'll be talking about tomorrow. So tell us more about, don't you go live weekly?
Mm-hmm. I go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're talking about how to use trust, life insurance to fund trust. That's what we're talking about.
And even on your website, they can get scheduled to receive the text messages about when those are coming, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yep. If you go, or you can text I'm in to 855-718-2018, and then you'll be automatically subscribed. So I'll put that phone number there. Just text I'm in, put your name too, and then you'll be able to get, because I get like random phone numbers and I don't know who it is.
So Mia, I just want to say thank you for coming on to this episode. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. All the ones who were shouting out the comments. We had a lot of comments come in on tonight. And I just want to say once again, thank you for sharing the knowledge. I can say, me personally, I've learned so much from you. And even in just some of our regular casual conversations, you're literally always giving free game. And so I thank God for the opportunity to just pull out more knowledge, and I pray that the people who are listening tap in. So guys, please stay tuned for yet another episode that is coming on Thursday evening. We have a bonus episode coming tomorrow at 12 p.m. It is going to be the Build Your Signature content series, and then we have another one on Thursday. Once again, this has been the Millionaire Mindset X, and I'm so grateful to have you all with me. This is my journey of learning to live a life of abundance. So until next time, I will talk to you guys soon, and have a great night.